And welcome back to the We'll Take It From Here podcast. Another week, another episode. However, first, we are going to bring you our show's sponsor, because this episode is brought to you by Honest Supplements. Now, Joe, what's Honest Supplements? Well, let me tell you. In a world that is plagued by new illness outbreak every other day, it's important to keep your body performing at its best with the right vitamins and supplements. However, these products can get expensive, especially with rising prices all around us. Honest Supplements has resolved that problem. They mark up all products by just $1, saving their members an average of 50% per product. Yes, that means that the protein you're paying $60 for is only $30 on their website. They have everything from vitamins, sports supplements, recovery, weight loss, CBD, and so much more. It costs just $10 a month or $99 for the entire year to join the Honest Supplements Club. Timmy and I are both members and can advocate for the amount of money that you will save. And do we also mention that all products are third-party lab tested? Because that's the only true way to prove vitamins and supplements actually contain the ingredients that they claim. Don't wait. Go to Honest Supplements right now to join today and start taking better care of your health. And it's right. If you train jiu-jitsu, Muay Thai, or just in the gym, you better be taking Honest Supplements. So go to their website, guys. All right. Now it's time for the show. Back. So we'll take it from here. Episode 170. Welcome back, folks. Best show in the world. Show to make you think, entertain you. Today we have a special guest. Welcome, Yara, to the show. How are you?
Good. How are you?
Doing well. This is Timmy's sister-in-law. So
yes.
Even special.
I'm excited for this one.
Good. Yeah. No, I've been pumped. How long is it that we've been trying to get this one going? I think it was because of your work schedule.
Christmas?
Throwing it off. Was it Christmas?
It was around December. Yeah.
You've been busy.
Yeah.
Good.
Life's been busy.
Yeah, good. Well, busy's always good. It's better to do nothing, right?
Yeah, absolutely.
Gotcha. Awesome. So let's just introduce yourself, Yara. Who are you? Obviously, you're Timmy's sister-in-law, but where are you from? Some little background, go as far back as you want.
Okay.
Welcome to
All
the
right.
show.
So my name is Yara. I'm a hospice nurse and a doula. I've been a nurse for almost 9 years. I originally was a neurology nurse, and then I went into emergency room nursing, travel nursing, and then I finally decided to follow what I've always wanted to do and get into end-of-life care.
That's really cool.
Yeah. So
you started out, so basically it sounds like it was you took the medical field and medical route to get to where you wanted to be, right? So you wanted to do end of life, but you started with, you said neurology. That's the brain, right?
Yes, correct.
Was there a particular reason you went that route? Does it have like a special connection to the end of life?
No, it was just the first opportunity that came to me. I really didn't like neurology back when I was in nursing school, and then it came to me, and then I ended up loving it. Because I loved helping people who came in with strokes find a way to be empowered again and not feel so sad in a situation that just happened so suddenly to them. Mm-hmm. And then there was a lot of people also that ended up being near the end of life because of their stroke, and I really loved supporting them and their family, finding a way to get to a place of acceptance, helping them advocate so that they can support their loved one in the way that they actually wanted and needed. And I always got involved with the conversations with the doctors and the palliative team. But then I always said, I'll do this when I'm an old lady, because I just thought you get into end-of-life care when you're old, not when you're young.
What are you, like 50 years
yeah,
early
like I thought like when I'm 50 or 60, when I want to slow down, then I'll get into it. And then I started losing my passion for nursing, and I started not liking it. And I couldn't figure out why. And then the pandemic happened. And I was helping a lot of people who didn't have family around feel safe and supported. And I just had a lot of fun with them. And I felt my spark come back, and I couldn't understand why. I thought it was just like the fast-paced environment. And so then that's when I wanted to get into the emergency room. But then in the emergency room, I wasn't loving it. I would leave every day not feeling fulfilled. I was learning a lot, which I loved, but I didn't feel like I did anything for my patients. And then I had a spiritual mentor be like, oh, like, don't you love end-of-life care? Like, why are you not doing it now if it's your passion? And I was like, yeah, you're right. And then not even a week later, I was at the dentist, and the lady cleaning my mouth starts talking about hospice. And I'm like, this is so weird, so random. And she was like, yeah, like my best friend, she's like the manager of this place. I'll get you in. And then within a week, I was working as a hospice nurse.
That's awesome.
Within a week. Wow.
Yeah.
That's awesome. So you went from, let's go 50-60 to, hey, next week.
Yeah.
That's awesome. Essentially the dentist was a manifestation of what you were able to, or the work as a hospice nurse.
Right.
Now, what drew you to this type of end of life? I'm almost going to take the mic up. What drew you to this? Because you said it was something that you've always wanted to do. Where did that spark come from?
So I don't know the exact moment, but all I remember is that when I was in nursing school, my grandmother had pancreatic cancer. And we were learning about end of life around the same time, and about dignity and supporting people and what they want and need. But back in Lebanon, where we're from, I don't know why, but they don't tell people who have cancer that they have cancer or that they're dying. And so my grandmother didn't know, but now looking back in hindsight, I knew she knew, because she would give me like jewelry, or give my sister jewelry, and like each one of my cousins jewelry. Like she was slowly like given things of her own. And my grandmother was somebody who had so much light and love, and like everybody loved her. And I, like, when I look back, I'm like, oh, she wasn't that happy. Like she was slowly losing her light, and she was becoming more dim. And so then I guess like when I became a nurse, I guess unconsciously, because it wasn't like a conscious thing, I just like, if I saw somebody who was like suffering, or like was struggling to move past like whatever it is, like I always wanted to find a way to help them feel seen and heard. And I just kept doing that, and I was always good at it. I got them to like say or do things they would never do. And so that's when the spark started. And then when I became a hospice nurse, then I really realized I have a big gift in that field.
That's incredible. There's a lot to unpack there. The first thing I want to unpack, I know that it happened a while back. Sorry about my grandmother. You use very specific terminology, and I wonder if you use it on purpose. You said she had the light, and then it got dim. The way I interpreted it is that you're speaking of her spirit, like the soul sort of leaving the body. Or am I just looking too much into this? More like when you're
enthusiasm.
Yeah, like when you're doing the things you love, or around the people you love, or I feel like we all have like a light to us, like a level of like excitement, joy, like peace that radiates, that people can feel, and that's what she had. But then when something was taken away from her, I don't know. I don't know what she truly felt. This is just like my interpretation. I just feel like when people weren't honest with her, she was starting to suffer alone, knowing that she's dying, but no one's talking to her about it, and like losing the capabilities of what she used to do in love. Like she used to love to eat and cook, and now like she got a treatment that made her not enjoy food anymore. And so like all the things that she used to love was slowly being taken away from her, and now her light was becoming more dim.
Got it. Okay. Yeah. I what I find a little interesting, and I wonder if it's because of maybe like I don't know too much about Lebanon, right? But is it maybe the resources? Like, why wouldn't a country tell its people that they have cancer? Is it because what do you think it is? I'm thinking it maybe they don't have the necessary resources and funding to treat everyone, so they just go, oh, we're not going to tell. But I have no idea. Yeah.
So in their mind, from my understanding, is that they want to protect the person from being depressed. So that's why they think if they don't know, it's better for them. But I find that like it's not just Lebanon. I see it happen here in America. The doctors will talk to the family and not the person who's dying. And I'm the one who always has to like, start initiating those conversations and helping the family let their loved one know, like they know why don't we start talking about it together?
Damn, so you're the one who's breaking the news.
Yeah. Well, not directly to the person.
But still to the family. That's still hard.
Yeah.
That's still hard. Were you always natural with that, or was that very uncomfortable and now you just get, or are you still, is it always an uncomfortable feeling?
It's very natural for me. Like, it's so easy for me.
See, you're made for this.
Yeah.
You're made for this. Imagine having to tell someone's family that.
Every time I hear stories from her, I'm like, I don't know how you do this. To me, like, I cringe thinking about having to do this stuff.
Yeah.
But she actually helped both my mom's parents pass away and my dad's mom.
No way.
So I've seen it firsthand, and it's a huge like a burden lifted off the family's shoulder when you have people helping you through that stuff.
Yeah. You almost like have to be as skilled as you are, because your energy is being transferred to them.
Yeah, definitely. I think when like you walk into the room with peace and confidence in what you're saying, they feel that.
Yeah.
And like if you're going in hesitating or nervous, they feel that too. Like we're all naturally intuitive people. Like we know when someone's nervous. We know when someone's talking behind our back. Like we just know these things.
Do you think that even though like we're like all different flesh and different people, that all our souls are connected, and that's why we have an energetic connection?
I think so. Yeah. I think we're all connected in some way.
I agree too. Honestly, I really am starting to believe the more that I look into like all this stuff with spirituality and everything, which in my opinion shares religion. Like it's the same thing.
Yeah, I think so too. Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. Like I believe in God, and I also believe that we're all connected. Like I think God is within all of us, and like.
And then there's then we came from God.
Right.
Yeah. Like I don't see what's like, because like a lot of people is like, oh, you can't say that. It's like, well, one, I'm going to say it. Two, I think it's the same thing. I think it's spoken about in the Bible too. Right? Regardless of like the Torah, Bible, whatever, Quran, it all says the same thing, just in a different way.
Yeah. I think so too.
That's pretty cool. Mm-hmm. So, you've been a hospice nurse now for, you said 9?
4 years.
4 years.
Nurse even for 5 years. Actually.
Yeah. Wow. Dang. Yeah. So what's like, I guess what was the most impactful and powerful story that you could share with us from that? There's
one story that I think helped me recognize my gifts the most. I had a 53-year-old man. And
it's young.
Yeah. He had 2 young daughters. He was very close, obviously, to his wife, his sister, his parents. And I walked in when he decided he was going to do hospice. And they were just all overwhelmed. And I just remember I just sat there. And like sometimes I wouldn't say anything. Just like me being there, I was able to observe and see like what's going on, how's everybody feeling, so then I can be able to help them better. And I remember like my first interaction with him, me and him were just talking about his life, like because the room that he was in, there was like books on the back of his wall. And so like, I remember looking at one book and I'm like, oh, like, are you interested in this stuff? He's like, yeah, like I'm passionate about like this. It's like, I think it was like marketing and history and stuff like that. And we were just talking about him as a person and not the disease or the diagnosis that he was going through. And then in that time, I was like recognizing everybody was having a hard time in their own ways. And I remember like spending time one-on-one with each daughter, seeing how they're feeling, like what's the main struggle for them in that moment. Speaking to his wife, speaking to his sister. And this was like for a few weeks. And then after all our discussions, like I recognized that everybody was struggling to tell him it's okay to go. And that's important. Because he was a man who put his family before his own self. And like, as long as they were at peace and they were okay, then he would like, hold on. Like if they weren't okay, he wasn't okay. And so he was like skin and bone. Like it was really sad, but he was doing it in sacrifice for his family because he knew they weren't ready. Mm-hmm. And so I started having that discussion, bringing that up to his wife, to his sister, to his parents. And his wife was able to do it because like she just wanted him at peace. Like, she was with him 24/7. She saw how much he was suffering. So it was easy for her. And then the daughters, like, they were still, like, waiting to do it.
How old were the daughters?
I think they were, like, 16 and 18.
So it's still pretty young.
Yeah, they were really young. And then I remember his wife was just so anxious. She didn't want to leave his site at all. And she wanted to go get her hair done, but she didn't want to leave him because she was afraid if she left, he may pass. And I said, he's not going to pass. I'll stick around. I'll hang out with him while you go get your hair done. Like, you're just as important as, like, he is. So she's like, are you sure? I said, it's fine. Go. So she went, and he was a marathon runner. And so I was like, do you still have your favorite marathon playlist? And he's like, yeah. I was like, I want you to pull it up. And he's like, okay, because he was paralyzed, but he could still feel. And so I said, I want you to close your eyes, and I want you to imagine you're back in that marathon. And I said, me and the aide, we're going to move your legs to make you feel like you're back in the marathon.
Yo, this is funny.
I love this story.
So we did it for like a song or two. And then the smile on his face, I will never forget. It was like the 10-year-old boy in him came out, and he was so excited and so happy. And then I created him like a certificate of achievement, and I was like, you did it. And he's like, yeah, but it was only 1 mile. I'm like, hey, it's better than none. Like, you haven't done one in a long time.
It's only 1 mile. He's like, yo, I'm not even done.
And his sister went and got one of his medals and gave it to him. And ironically, it was a marathon he ran that exact same day, like 3 years ago.
Wow.
And he was so happy. And every person that came in, he told them that he ran a marathon. And like, it's not like him, right? He's such a stoic man. And like, to see like the little boy in him come out and like share with everybody this like little fun thing that we did. And then I had a meeting with his wife, his sister, his parents. I was like, I know this is really hard for you right now, but I think it would really be in his best interest and your best interest if you let him know. Like, it's not that I want you to go. It's just like, if you feel like you're ready to go, like, it's okay. I don't want you to stick around for me. I said, because like right now he's sticking around skin and bone, like not eating, not drinking, in severe pain just for you guys. Like the most loving thing we can do in return is give him that same love back. And I'll never forget that day. His sister went into his room, and she went and told him. Then his wife went in the room, then his daughters, and then his parents. And each one was like, one was on each shoulder, one was on each knee, and one was on each foot. And they all told him, like, it's okay, like, we're ready, like, if it's okay, like, you can go. And then he opens his eyes and he's like, wait, you're all still here?
That's funny. So some comedic relief, even in pain.
Yeah, he had a lot of black humor.
I love that.
That's great.
And then we all started laughing, and I remember his wife was like, Yara said you would say something like that.
That's funny.
Or you'd make a joke like that. And then I just remember looking at them, and I was like, wow. Like, it was such a picture perfect moment, and I'm like, I can't believe like the power in that moment. And then he calls me in, and he opens his arms wide open. He's like, Yara, I love you so much. He said, you made the last days of my life the best days of my life. And he had no idea that when I interviewed for that job, I told the managers that I want to do what I'm doing, and I want to help people make the last days of their life the best days of their life. And he used those exact words.
Fuck.
And in that moment, I knew, like, this is what I have to do.
Yeah. That's incredible.
Yeah.
Thanks for sharing that, because I think the gift, like, I think it was very clever and, like, a good thing that you were like, all right, did you make him run the marathon just to make sure, or did you, like, have a knowing that he wasn't, like, if the wife went out to get her hair done, he wasn't going to go?
I knew he wasn't going to go. I just, like, I wanted him to feel joy and excitement.
Oh, yeah. No.
That's all I wanted. I just wanted him to feel happy, because like it was such a sad time for everybody, and I just wanted to do one little thing that can make him feel like he's not where he's at.
That's incredible to think on the feet like that, and to make that what's it called? To do like decision and to be able to, I don't know, like,
that's not something you can get in training.
Yeah, like
you either have that or don't.
Exactly. Like, how are you able to stay motivated? Not motivated is not the word. In high spirits while someone is going through that pain. It's like, that's you. Like you said, you're made for this job.
Thank you.
Yeah, for sure.
Absolutely.
But like when I'm looking at them, I'm not looking at them as they're sick. I'm looking at them for who they are as a person.
Yeah.
And that's what allows me to, I guess, stay centered or grounded when I'm helping them. I'm not I'm not feeling that deep sadness that everybody else is feeling and in that moment. Like, I still feel sad for them and their family, but like, I'm not walking in with pity.
Yeah, no, 100%. Well, yeah, and like you said, you can't, because then at that point they're going to read that off you or feel that off you. Yeah, no, absolutely. So does that, like, so this is doing hospice nurse, or is this also intertwining with your end of life, the doula?
So technically, as a hospice nurse, my only role is to make sure that they're comfortable, that I'm talking to the doctor, making sure they have the right medication so that they're comfortable. When I did my research after, like, I realized this is something I need to do and support families with, everything that I did for him was what a doula does. And so, like, I was like, what the heck? Like, this is, like, natural. Like, whatever. Like, I didn't even need to take a certification or anything on it. It just came so naturally to me. And I was shocked again. I'm like, what the? Like, it was just so bizarre to me how it was all naturally falling into place.
Awesome. Yeah, no, so basically it's like a way to just... coach is not really the right word, but I guess you could say coach, but prepare. Prepare someone.
Right, yeah.
Nice.
Yeah.
Awesome. What do you find is who takes it harder? The family or the person? Or does it differ by patient?
The family. I find the person who is at the end of life, they're more at peace than their loved ones. And like, they know what they're going through. I find it's both. Like, they're more worried about their family, and the family's more worried about their loved one. Like, no one's thinking about themselves in that moment.
Yeah. That's
I would hope not. God damn, terrible person if you do.
No, 100%. But at the same time, thinking about it, like, and this was going to be another question I was going to ask you. The person who's dying, that, like, what does that, like, and I guess, what do they feel? Like, they know that they're almost done. And now on this earth, right, I believe there's an afterlife, right?
Right.
But when you have a family like that, you just don't want to leave them, right?
Right.
So, like, for them to be worrying, I guess that's what they're worrying about, is leaving them. Yeah.
Like, how are they going to cope? Like, how are they going to be without me here? Yeah, I feel like it's more like those things. It's like, the main fears I feel that they are worried about is if they're going to be in pain. Is their family going to be okay? And then maybe like regrets or fears not related to like the physiological aspects.
Damn. So like regrets of what they wish they did in life?
Yeah.
Hold on. I don't know if I should ask that, because I don't know if that's like a privacy. I mean, you're not going to be naming people. What is because you always hear that, right? At the end of life, no one's going to remember this. They're going to remember this.
Right.
This person says that they wish they did this, etc. What is the most impactful regret you've heard? Don't have to give specifics. Just
like the first person that comes to my mind, it was another young lady. She was in her 50s, and she told me that she knows that she has cancer because she stuck around with her partner who was toxic longer than she should have.
Damn.
That's heavy.
So like the constant toxicity is what caused the like the cells to become malignant or something.
Malignant.
Malignant. Yes. No, I'm making up words here.
Close.
Malignant. Yeah. Oh wow. No, but there's truth to that.
Yeah.
That the more they're doing research, that like obviously there's outside forces that cause death for sure, but you can also like. Do you believe that you can cure yourself and that you could also make yourself sick
through
positive, negative talk? worrying and all that stuff?
I strongly believe in that.
Okay, yeah.
And I don't want to say it's like all or nothing, or like, oh, if you do all the like mental work and you take care of your body, you're not going to have disease. I feel like sometimes you could do all the right things and you still may end up with a disease, like, because that puts a lot of pressure too. Because then let's say you do all the right things and then you end up sick, you're going to blame yourself, and then that's not good for your body either.
The thing too is, just because you're doing the right things doesn't mean you're in the right mindset doing the right thing, right? Like
That's
you could
true.
you could be mentally projecting every day of what you want, but you could be doing that out of fear, and you're not truly letting go in the situation.
That's
so
really true.
Even though you're going through the motions of what you're supposed to do, you're not in the mindset and mental place that you to be actually doing it.
Yeah, that's true. Yeah, because like something I find common, at least in like the older generation, they're like, oh, I did all the right things, like I exercised, I ate all the right foods, but I also think it's not just that. I think it's the mind.
Yeah, the mind is incredible.
It's really powerful, and I wish more people would recognize that.
I think it's a superpower.
Yeah.
I think it's a superpower that they don't tell us we have.
Yeah, 100%. I agree.
Yeah. It's interesting stuff. Man, that's crazy. Like, no, crazy in a good sense. Like, I've never spoke to someone who's a hospice nurse or end of life coach.
Oh, that's cool.
So I'm just thinking about like the whole time you're telling the story, I'm just thinking about the person who's dying, and obviously the family, but I'm thinking more of the person who's dying,
right.
How scared they must be, and to have someone who's able to uplift them, running the marathon for that amount of time, he probably wasn't thinking about his death, right? Because you have to focus on the marathon,
right? Exactly.
That's crazy.
Yeah,
it's nice stuff.
Yeah, it's fun stuff. I think it's. What were you gonna say?
No, good.
I like what I find so cool is helping them see the strength within their own selves, and like helping them see that they actually have the power to do things, and like, yeah, like I'm guiding them, but they're still making the choice to do it. Like that 50-year-old lady, I was telling her, I forget exactly what I said, but I was encouraging her to have conversations with her sons because they were young. And she was nervous, but she ended up having the conversations with him. And then after, she was like, Yara, like, I would have never done that without you. And I said, no, like, you made that choice. Like, I just guided you to it, but you did it yourself. Like, you should be proud of yourself.
Yeah, no, that's a big thing where a lot of people will always give, they won't take credit for something that they're doing, right? Obviously, you being there definitely helped. Doesn't mean that she would have done it. Right, she had to have made the choice to do it herself.
Right, yeah. I think choice is such an important thing for people to recognize.
What's the old adage? You can lead a horse to water, can't make it drink, or something?
Yeah.
Something like that?
Yeah.
Nice. You had a question? Or did you know?
No, sorry. I'm trying not to burp in the mic.
No, you're good, bro.
No, what I was going to get at is that, I mean, there's a lot of hospice nurses out there, and my family's history. We experienced plenty of nurses and experiences like that, and like it's not common on the things that you do for your patients. So I'm just blessed that you're part of my family, and that I was able to have you in the corner for my grandparents. But I remember the one story, and this is like, I forget it was Oma when she was in the hospital before she went in the hospice. I think it was 2001. 21?
Yeah, I think like 3 years ago.
Yeah, I think it was 2021. So it was like there was still some like COVID restrictions on that. It was weird, a weird time. But my grandmother, she wasn't doing good. I don't remember exactly where she was, but she was barely conscious at this point, and she's still in the hospital. And like the day before, the doctor wanted to go send her to physical therapy. And then at this point, Yara's been working with my grandmother, and as a hospice nurse, she tells my dad, there's no way she's going to rehab. She needs to go to hospice. So at that time, we made the call, and the next day go to the hospital. My grandma was awake for maybe like 4 minutes total while I was there for the half hour, and she was barely conscious. And the nurse was there in the computer, and I'm just like cursing off the doctor. I'm like, this mother thinks that she can go to rehab and do physical therapy? I was like, she's not even awake. What the fuck? And the nurse is like laughing because she knows how right I am, but they can't do anything. It's the doctors.
Yeah.
So, but if it wasn't for her at that time, they
might have let her go to rehab. That's like a common.
How
thing,
come
They get
unfortunately.
kickback. I'm not going down that rant.
No,
That's a whole-
okay.
Yeah.
So I was gonna.
They can
ask,
buy into those the facilities and they get kickback.
We don't have to go down that rant, but I was going to try to like bring it out by saying, how come you think the doctor did that? They definitely get kickback. That's where I was gonna go.
They can
Yeah.
buy into the clinic.
But I think like forget like the main reasons that we know, like maybe money or commission or whatever. But like I think also they have a fear in like admitting or accepting that that person is at the end of life.
So you think that they feel guilty?
Yeah, like they feel like they need to do everything. Just like talking about end of life is already hard for society. So it's not just hard for like people who are not in the medical field. It's also hard for people in the medical field.
Yeah. You know what? Good point. Because
I appreciate that.
yeah. No, I still am going to agree with you that if someone's awake for 4 minutes at a time,
It was
they shouldn't-
blatantly obvious, but,
Yes.
but they're like I need to be a little more sensitive that that's still an aspect of a person they have to give bad news.
Well, that, and then also, yes, that is something that is probably hard on a doctor, right? Especially like a surgeon or something. If something goes wrong, even if it wasn't the surgeon's decision that just like you come in an emergency room, someone just got, I don't know, shot up, hit in the car, right? You're trying your best to save. This person's definitely not going to live. You still feel like you should have done something better.
Right, yeah.
And that's the guilt. Okay.
Yeah.
But being what you're telling me, we'll play in the middle. Devil's advocate was a great thing there because I didn't think about it that way.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Nice.
Yeah.
Well, good decision on that part to go to hospice instead of
She ended up passing like 3 days later.
Okay.
Like
Yeah.
Okay.
yeah. So
Yeah.
It was beautiful.
yeah, that was a good time.
Yeah.
Damn. This is
It was a beautiful time.
interesting.
As beautiful as end of life can be.
Yeah, right. Yeah.
Yeah, you have to
Yeah.
really take. I mean, you literally. Some people go to work to do X. Some people go to work to deal with Y. You're dealing with people who are on their last, go.
Yeah.
And for you to be calm in that situation is very admirable.
Thank you.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
It's tough too. Is like from the experiences I had from the family side. Is like there's especially my mom's side. My mom's one of 9. There's a lot of fucking people with opinions.
Yeah.
And my one aunt's a
And
nurse.
she's the Italian, right?
Yeah.
Okay.
Well, my dad's Italian too.
Okay.
My mom's 100%. My dad's 75.
So 9 Italians with an opinion, man. What can go
Yeah.
wrong?
My one aunt's a nurse, and the thing is like she knows a lot in nursing, but she's also directly attached as a family member. So like you're not maybe always thinking like as clearly as you can. You obviously have emotions involved. So like everyone has their own opinion. She's
Yeah.
in nurse mode, but also in like that's my dad, that's my mom mode. So like things get complicated. So having someone who's like detached, fortunately,
Right.
she still was like my family brought like she was family to them too. So but it was still detached from.
Because like I
the
don't know the
situation.
history.
Yeah.
Like I don't know the family dynamics as deeply
Yeah.
as they do.
Yeah.
So it's like
You know.
easy for me to separate.
You're the liaison.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. So having someone there who knows the hospice end, but also the end of life doula part, where you're an advocate for the person that's passing, and it helps so much because like the experiences that with my grandparents is like everyone has their opinion. We should be doing this and that. It's like, well, what is their opinion? What do they want? And sometimes
Yeah.
they're not capable, they're not coherent enough, or whatever. But like, no, it's not what you guys want. It's what do they want? Mm-hmm. So having her in the corner helped. It made all that easy.
Nice.
And it's important to have those conversations before we get into that place. And a lot of us don't have those conversations. We may have the right legal paperwork, but we're not having those conversations as a family together. So like they may tell like one child but not tell the other child, and then when it comes to the end of life, the paperwork is like it's detailed but not detailed enough. And so like if the one child knows like what their loved one wants, but the other child didn't have that discussion, now there's a war between the two children. And so I always recommend and encourage families to have a conversation together in a room so everybody hears it at the same time, so there's no miscommunication of what they want. So then when it is their time and they can't speak for themselves, they have a whole group of people who are on the same page.
Damn. All right. Yeah, that's wild.
Well, I don't know why, but Sam and I both were going to Italy as we've been talking about.
Yeah.
And I was like, we probably should get a will together. And, you know, her being a cop, it's like, okay, well, yeah, I need one together too. So we texted Taylor, you're the godparents to our dogs. So if something happens to us, you get to make the decisions.
That's fucking hilarious.
Because everyone in the family wants to have their opinion and all that. So it's the same aspect. And besides that, everything else is just finances.
Yeah.
But that's the intimate stuff. But like, we need to have the actual conversations with everything.
That's fucking, that,
you know, especially her in a line of work, but like traveling international, it's like, yeah, let's get some stuff at least prepared.
Yeah, you going to Naples?
I think so.
Yeah, you should get a will. No, I'm just kidding.
I've heard that too, actually.
Yeah. My family, that's where my part of my origin is from.
No way.
Like my family, and yeah, you'll be fine. I'm kidding. I'm not.
I don't know about that. When I was in France, I met some Italians. They said that they saw somebody get kidnapped on the motorcycle.
Okay, just
in
don't go on a
Naples,
motorcycle.
specifically.
Yeah.
So stay in the middle of Naples. When you're looking at the mountains, stay in the middle.
We have this whole itinerary, it's all booked out with tours and stuff. I'm not worried.
Good. I want you to become part of the Camorra. That's their gang.
Oh, okay.
That's their mafia. I want you to be part of there. Yeah.
I won't have any penne.
Yeah.
I don't know if you heard that part of the podcast, but I got yelled at for mispronouncing a pasta.
Yeah. Yes. I yelled at you so you don't ask the waiter.
So there is 2 ways to say it. One means pasta. The other one means penis.
Yeah. Oh.
And I said it the wrong way first.
Yeah. So I'm like,
so he's correcting me.
I'm being, it's my boy here.
2 ends is pasta.
Yeah. I don't want like the cameriera there to be like, what? He's asking me for penis? No.
Yeah. 2 ends is pasta.
Like, get out of here. I'm telling you, man.
So anyway,
they'll correct you too. If you don't enunciate it, they'll like, Ben. And you're like, oh, okay, cool.
I'm going to be like, can you do that? Yeah. I had to ask him like 5 times because I could not hear the difference.
Yeah.
You just
exaggerate 2 ends.
Yeah. Just enunciate.
2 ends. That's all you need to know.
Yeah, on Facebook, it gives you the option to choose who the person can take care of your Facebook if you die.
I did not know that. That's awesome.
And so I added my sister into this, and she's like, why are you sending me this, Yara? I'm like, well, you never know. I could like die in a car accident tomorrow. Like, I want you to be able to take care of my stuff.
Not to be morbid, but it happens. It happens.
Yeah, like you never know. And so like I do baby steps with my family so that they don't feel overwhelmed.
Yeah. Well, it's scary.
Starting out with the Facebook, and then we'll start going.
Yeah.
Everyone's all right. Oh man, that's great. So there is, I'm sure we'll come back to some stuff about this because it's very intriguing. But there's another part of you that I want to explore here, and that makes you a little bit, I know, maybe nervous, but I don't think you should be nervous. And I think it ties into I didn't want to start off with it, right?
Yeah.
Maybe it has a tie-in in why you like to do end-of-life stuff.
I think so.
Is it medium or median?
Medium. Mediumship.
So how long have you been a medium for? How'd that start? Like, let's talk about that. That's some cool shit.
So I've been a medium, I would say about 3 or 4 years.
So this is recent.
Yeah, this is still very new for me.
Do you think, I'm going to let you go and then I'll ask my question.
Are you sure?
Yeah, go.
Throughout my life, like I always knew I had some type of gift, but I couldn't figure out what it was. Like I didn't connect with spirits or see spirits or anything like that. Like it would be little things. Like I remember I was young and we were in the car, me and my siblings with my dad. And I said, if you don't move that newspaper, we're going to get into a car accident. And he's like, Yara, stop. And I'm like, okay. And then 10 minutes later, somebody hit us. So like I didn't know, I was too young to recognize the newspaper had nothing to do with like what I was receiving. Like little things like that would happen, but it would happen randomly. Like I couldn't choose for it to happen. And I was just like, oh, I guess it just comes and goes whenever it likes. And then about like maybe like 6 to 10 years ago, my first spiritual mentor said, you have gifts, but they're going to show up later in life. And then another spiritual mentor was like, yeah, like you're going to be a medium, you're going to have gifts. But I don't remember her saying medium. I just remember her saying you have gifts that they're going to show up when you're in the field. And I was like, okay, whatever. And then I don't even think I got into the field yet. And I met this girl who was like hosting like Kundalini yoga sessions. And I was like, oh, like, can we be friends? And she's like, yeah, sure. And
Real life Facebook.
Yeah.
Anna's friend.
Yeah. And so we went for a walk. And so she's talking about her aunt who's a nurse who didn't take care of herself. And it ended up leading her into depression, and she ended up killing herself. But as she's sharing this story, it's my own voice. I'm not hearing any other voice. It's my own voice saying, you have to tell her she's here. You have to tell her she's here. And it's just getting louder and louder. I'm like, I'm not going to say that. That's weird. Like, why is my thoughts saying that to me? And I'm like, I'm not going to say that. This is like my first time hanging out with this girl. Like, and it just kept getting louder and louder and louder. I'm like, I'm sorry. I said, I know this may sound really weird, but like, I can't shut my brain up until I tell you this, that like, I feel like she's here. And as I'm saying that, all of a sudden my head feels like it's on like fire. And she goes, yeah, she used to always say her head was on fire. And I'm like, that's so weird. I'm like, that's so weird. Like, that's what I feel right now. And she's like, whoa, you're intuitive. And I'm like, I don't know what that means.
Was this, you said it was your own voice, but it was like, maybe I could ask this question to make it make sense. Were you actually hearing your own voice, or was it just like how like you would think normally, like stop, like you know what I mean? Like, was it like a silent tell her that she's here, or were you actually hearing shit?
No, it was like
internal
if
thought.
You like your internal dialogue. Like,
Okay,
you know, like
okay.
when you're not talking and you're thinking in your brain and you just hear your voice.
Yeah.
Like that's what it was, but it was just loud.
Okay, gotcha.
Yeah.
It's still cool though, because I you know, usually when because I've heard other stories of people with medium, they'll actually hear the spirit.
Yeah, some people do.
Yeah.
I'm grateful I don't. I'd be freaked out.
yeah.
That'd be really freaky.
But then it also makes it harder because like then I have to learn how to discern which one is my voice, which one is like the spirit's voice.
Yeah, but I mean, I think that'd be tough. Fuck. But you hit it right on that one.
Yeah.
Were you scared when it first happened? Like once you got like the burning head, and like were you like I guess like short of breath or getting butterflies or something?
No, I was just like, that's weird. I'm like, whoa, like I think my gifts are here, but I'm not sure.
So speaking of that, so when do you think that was, that walk? Do you remember?
I would say I think 2020. Like the end of 2020, maybe going into 2021.
Okay.
So yeah, I think
That
I
was
was
a while
in my
ago.
field actually. I think I was a hospice nurse. Yeah.
Because I was gonna ask if the experience with Roxy amplified and drew that out at all, but that was before.
That was before. Yeah.
The how often do they come? I guess how often are you meeting people or getting
It just happens randomly. Like I don't intentionally sit and be like, let me do a medium reading for you. Like I'll be like talking to somebody and then all of a sudden I'll get like for me it's like a tingling sensation in my head.
Yeah.
Like I feel like that's their way of calling me. Mm-hmm. You know what I mean? So it's like it's my own voice. Yeah. Like I'm here. And then like I'll give a message. So like I don't know, I haven't kept track. It just like it happens every now and then I just allow it. I don't like to force it. And when I first learned I had a gift, I remember calling my spiritual mentor. I'm like, I think this is happening. And he's like, you have to go to this school. Like you need to learn how to manage it. Because if you don't, like it'll control you. And I'm like, I don't want that. That sounds scary. And so I went to this school, and what I loved learning from this place is that they were very intentional in teaching you that it's to use it for love and healing. Like if you receive bad information, you don't share it. If you, like it's not about telling the future. It's not about anything like that. It's about helping the person in the moment heal and come to a place of peace and love and acceptance.
That's nice.
Yeah.
That's now here's the question I'll ask from what you just said. Have you ever received bad information and ignored it?
No. And I pray that I never do, but I also am intentional. Because of what I learned is to communicate with them is like communicating with any of the like humans that we speak to. Mm-hmm. It's like you have to set boundaries. You have to tell them what you want and what you don't want. And so I make sure to like always pray and say like, I only want to receive love and light. If it's anything but that, I don't want to receive it.
Nice. Yeah, and that's what you'll get, right?
Yeah.
If you're setting your intention out there, that's what you're going to receive.
Yeah.
Fuck, dude, that's crazy.
So I have a question, kind of side tangent to this, but it's on this topic. Do you think when kids see monsters at night, it's this stuff?
Yeah, I do. I think most children are very connected, but then we have adults who may not fully understand it or accept it, who kind of be like, oh no, it's just like in your brain, it's just your imagination, when it's actually their gifts that are slowly trying to creep in.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I think it's also too, I agree with you, because I think it's kids have...
It could be really... I mean, you're an adult saying, if it's not my own voice, it's going to be creepy or scary.
Right, yeah.
And you know what it is. So a kid who doesn't know this stuff and then experiencing it doesn't know... Like, it's just... That could be... and if it's when you're laying in bed at night, that's really scary.
Right.
So when you think about, like, the subconscious mind, right? That is like connected to the soul and like your heart, all that good stuff. Basically, whatever it accepts as true is what you experience, right?
Right.
And I feel like that has a lot to do with the superpower that I'm talking about.
Yeah.
And I feel like when you're a kid and you're a baby, obviously you're not we're not programmed. As you grow up, you get programmed.
Right.
Whether it's intentionally or unintentionally, you
Right.
get programmed.
Yeah, it's true.
That's nonsense. That's bullshit. That doesn't happen. Blah blah blah. So then, if you accept that without if you don't reject it, you accept it.
Correct.
Not that you lose the power necessarily, you just are asleep to it.
Yeah, or you're distant from it.
You're distant from it, right? The kids aren't. So like they're I think babies see shit. I
Yeah,
think babies
they
know
do.
shit. Like they maybe just like can't talk, but
No,
they're not
it's
dumb.
real, because I have a little cousin. I forget how old he was. Maybe he was like 6 or 7. And he went to his mom and he was like, yeah, grandma held me when I was a baby. And she was like, no, like grandma wasn't alive. And he's like, no, she held me. Like I remember she held me as a baby. So like they know. It's just like some people just deny that within them.
Yeah, no, for sure. I had I have younger cousin. She's like now in high school, but when she was very young, she was born in 2008. My nonna, my dad's mom, passed in 1999. So not even her older sister, who was born in 2001,
Wow.
ever met her, right? The youngest sister, to my knowledge, I asked my uncle. My uncle said that because I was like, do you have pictures of Nonna and like hang out? And he's like, no. So has Melina ever seen Nonna? No. And I was like, all right. I was like, because she's like, yeah, no, Nonna, no. Like she kept saying Nonna. Like this is 9 years after she passed. I was like, Melina, you say that sometimes you see like Nonna, right? This is when she was young. Like, yeah, I'll have dreams. I'll see Nonna in my dream. I'm like, okay, cool. And I took out a picture and I was like, they look like her. He's like, yeah, that's her.
That's
like,
crazy.
And that's what I was like, Uncle
Oh
Mike.
my
I was
gosh.
like, Uncle Mike, you have pictures of Nonna around? No. Have you ever like showed her? No.
That's
Because I showed her a
amazing.
picture of Nonna. And he's like, yo, yeah, she tells me all the time.
That's crazy.
So cool.
That's wild.
I still get amazed by it. And like,
Yeah.
no matter how many experiences I've had on my own and heard others, I still get so excited.
But like that goes back to how we're all connected. If you buy, I buy into it. I believe it. But that's how like you're all connected, right? It's like
Right.
the lineage, whatever. You know, like I don't know. It's wild.
Yeah.
Have you ever had someone when you give the good message? Has it always been they've been able to accept it well, or sometimes people get like I guess a little sad or like they don't believe you?
Luckily, the ones that I've done were like close friends or family members. That's it.
Okay.
I've only had one stranger when I was in Thailand. And I guess like when you say bad news, like it was like sad things but led to something beautiful. I'll share this story.
Yeah, share
I
it if
think
you
it
feel
would help,
yeah,
yeah.
share if you feel comfortable.
Yeah. So
And by the way, I'm intending that your future stuff is all good and you're never gonna have bad things. I'm just asking to see if
yeah,
there's
no,
ever
yeah,
been,
no, I appreciate
I
it.
don't want to like
Yeah,
no
yeah.
bad shit.
So I did a solo trip in Thailand, and I was coming home from the beach, and I was walking on the boardwalk, and there's these cars, because Muay Thai is such a big thing in Thailand, and there's these cars that are always making announcements, Muay Thai at 7 p.m., Muay Thai tonight at 7 p.m.
Oh my God,
And
that accent's great.
So there was a man to the left of me, maybe in his 50s, and he's like, oh, you know what time that show is? And I'm like, yeah, and he just starts talking to me, and I'm like, okay. So he's talking to me about life and meditation, and I'm like, oh, that's so weird. Like, I just came from, like, a meditation retreat. And so we're just talking, and then all of a sudden I hear he wants to kill himself. And I'm like, no, this can't be real. I'm like, stop. But then he's talking, and he's like, yeah, I just lost my friend. He just killed himself. And then I got the call. And,
Ring, ring.
I love that.
Ring, ring. I love it. The call.
and I'm like, oh, that's his friend right now. And so, and I said, I don't know if you believe in this stuff, but I feel your friend right now. And I want you to know that he wants to tell you that, like, as low as you feel right now, like, this too will pass. And, like, don't get stuck in the feelings that you're in, and like you talk about meditation, like continue following that path. And then he shared memories that they had together. And then the man starts crying and he's like, yeah, this is the lowest that I've ever felt. I just like left my country without telling my manager, not telling my family. Like I just came here because I feel so low. And then we ended up talking for like another hour, and we're still in touch, and he's doing so much better with his life now. And
God dang.
Yeah.
Wait, and this was like a tourist, like
yeah, just like a
on
random
vacation?
person. It was my first stranger.
That's not by chance. That's not coincidence. None of that is.
Yeah.
The friend brought you two together.
100%. Yeah.
That's wild.
Yeah.
You never told me that story.
Oh yeah.
That makes it even crazier. Like,
And like to see like now, like when he's reaching out to me and telling me where he's at, I'm like, it's so crazy because it was only like a few months ago, and now his life is like 180.
you know, there's a good chance if you didn't talk to him, he would have possibly, maybe.
Yeah. Right,
Or even just been down a deep hole
They've been
Right.
that he couldn't get out of.
Yeah.
Depression's brutal.
Right.
That's crazy.
Gosh.
Yeah.
That's fucking intense shit.
Yeah.
That's awesome though. I think it's great. I think like honestly, I think I geek out on stuff like that.
Me too.
I think there's a yin and a yang. There's good and there's evil, and it's all with your intention, right?
Right.
The superpower that I refer to, it's basically just the manifestation, right?
Right.
You use it how you want,
Right.
and you use it for what you want,
Right.
So if you use it for good, you'll get good. If you use it for bad, you'll get bad, right?
I agree.
So it's like, I guess what I'm going with is everything's intention. Right?
Yes.
That's why, like, when people don't understand it, they go, "Oh, it's evil." It's like, it's not evil, dude.
No, it's evil
Intending
if
how
you
you
want
make-
it to be evil.
Yeah.
Right.
And it's like, oh, I'm not gonna fuck with them evil spirits. Hell no.
That was for the 20s.
Fuck no.
I'm 30s
dude.
now. I don't care anymore.
Fuck that shit. I will not.
Yeah.
I'm not that brave.
No, I don't think.
I'm just kidding. I
don't think
did not want to
anyone
do that
is.
in my 20s.
Yeah.
And just
What?
a little more. I said in my 20s I would fuck with the evil spirits.
Yeah.
It was a joke.
Dude. Okay, so hold on. Nah, I don't know why. I don't think you've ever played with one, but maybe you have.
The Ouija board?
Ouija board? Have you ever done that?
Yeah. I
Okay.
was young.
Hold on.
Yeah.
Whenever I see the videos, like I believe in like spirits and all that shit.
Yeah.
But obviously, while something that I believe may be true, I also believe that people when you make a video can fake shit. But when I see the videos of people and it's moving, did it move for you?
No, it did. And at one point, I felt it coming towards me, and the other person felt it going towards them. And then I was like, "That's weird. How's that even possible? That we're feeling it in opposite directions?"
So it legit will move on its own.
Yeah.
Oh, that's fucked.
No, it's
bro.
scary.
No, I would not. I would be like, go.
After that time, I never did it again. I thought like it was a joke until like I experienced that. I'm like, that's scary. I never want to do that.
So your friend was experiencing it going toward them. You were experiencing it. You want, and
Yeah.
I think the reason that happened is just different realities. You're experiencing different realities.
It could be.
That's it.
It could be.
That's wild.
Yeah,
Oh my god.
It's possible. I don't know.
I would never. If anyone ever said, "Hey, you want to play with a Ouija board?" I'd be
Absolutely
like,
not.
Fuck no,
Yeah.
dude. Fuck no. What was the spirit's name?
Max.
Max.
I'll never forget. It was scary. Yeah.
Wait. How do you know the spirit's name?
Because like so there's like an alphabet on the board, and it goes to like it says MAX. Like you'll
Okay,
ask
okay.
it questions like, "What's your name? How old are you? Like,
Okay. Wow.
what's your purpose?"
What was the? What did you get out of Max?
I can't remember. I just remember that he was like always around. He said,
No,
Do you have any family members at Max?
"No,
he's always around. What
I
the
don't know.
fuck does that mean?
Any middle names at Max?
No, I don't know."
Interesting.
No, dude, fuck that. No, I don't fuck with that shit. Hopefully, Max is a good spirit.
It's funny is we were talking about kids having the spirit. My mom growing up used to tell me I had a spirit in my closet. Like she would say it, and it seemed like it. I don't know, but it was just funny. She would always. I don't remember the full story of who it was, but yeah, I think it might have been my great grandmother.
Yeah. No.
Because I was really close. She was. I don't remember how old she was. She was 90s, but she passed when I was in kindergarten.
Damn.
For whatever reason, I was close to her, and I would remember at her shore house, she was in her wheelchair, and she would like take her teeth out and show us to scare us. Like that was how she would play with us.
That's fucking awesome.
And I'm like 6, 7 years old, whatever it was. It was
Have you ever had any supernatural experiences?
I brought up the thing about at night because I heard something a while ago is if you experience this stuff, you just like you set your boundaries. Just hey, leave me alone.
Yeah.
I don't remember where I heard that. I think it might have been on Joe Rogan talking about someone, but every once in a while at night, I'll feel like something's like over top of me, staring at me.
Oh, that's freaky.
Yeah, and that's where I'm
really
like,
freaky.
excuse me, can you please get away? And I just say it like that.
Does
Whether
it work?
it's real or not, I don't know if it's placebo effect, but I start to subside and like, okay.
Are you? It's not.
I had to cover myself under the sheets. Like I can't peep my head out. I can't do it.
I feel like as a kid, I was always scared.
Yeah.
Like, I don't know if I was feeling spirits and just didn't know, but I was always scared.
Yeah. I would have to cover my. I have to. If it happens at night, I can't. I don't want to see shit.
Yeah.
I don't mind hearing it or feeling it, but I don't want to see it.
You weren't experiencing sleep paralysis, right?
I've experienced that a couple times, but not in these situations.
No, but in this situation, that's even fuck, dude. Yeah, no.
Sometimes where I felt sleep paralysis too.
Yeah.
In those, but I was able to like I would have to fight to do the sheet, but it was like just enough, and then like I couldn't move from there.
And then all of a sudden, when you say, "Hey, just get away," it goes.
Well, the getaway stuff is like within the last couple months.
Yeah.
Where I started to experience that. So anytime I feel like really unease, it's like I just say that. Like if I feel like there's a spirit, because hey, what's the worst that's going to happen? Nothing.
Right. Yeah.
Nothing.
Yeah, that's true.
You know, and also at the same time is I don't know of anyone ever being killed by a spirit. So like
No.
Right.
That's what I keep in the back. But still, I don't want to be creeped out or have some like negative energies getting passed through me.
I always just remember that God is with me. That's what I always say when God's with me.
same.
God's with me.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's it. But
That's my go-to.
Yeah, but yeah, for sure, because you can't when you have the power of God with you.
Right.
You know,
There's nothing more powerful.
No, nothing more powerful. Dude, one time it's just funny like story. My brother, throw him under the bus. Because he'll have like he doesn't do this anymore, but this was like maybe when he was in college, high school, and he had 2 beds in his room, and my sister's friend stayed over and was sleeping in my room, so I slept on the bed in his room. And you know when you have a dream, like in the dream something starts happening, but it's because something's happening in real life.
Yeah.
So I was doing like some dream, and like all of a sudden like the dream started shaking, and like people started like we were like fighting, and like it was like all chaos. It's because my brother, dude, I don't know what the fuck was going on, but he swore he saw like a spirit, so he started bloody screaming like, "I'm gonna fucking kill you!" and just started throwing pillows at me. He was launching pillows at me, dude, and like he's on his bed like
That's too
running
funny.
toward the door, and then like turn on the light, and he's like, "What's going on?" I'm like, "Bro, what the fuck did you do?"
How old were you guys?
No, this was like I was in college.
Oh
So
my
he was
gosh, that's recent.
or high school. He was in college, but he was throwing pillows at me.
Fucking hilarious.
And that's why like my dreams started getting wild, because I was getting pelted with pillows. And then he stands up, and I'm like startled, and he runs toward the thing, hits on the light, and then he like woke up.
That's too funny.
Dude, I was scared shitless though. I was like, yo, I'm about to die. Like,
Wait, was he sleepwalking or
he was having like a sleep I don't know what you call it, but he was having a nightmare.
Yeah.
But he thought he was like, it was like
Were
he
you
was trying
both dreaming the same thing?
No.
Oh.
He was convinced he was killing a demon. No, he was like standing on his bed, like fucking punching, and then ran toward it, and then like flicked on the light, and then he like, where am I? And I'm like, bro, what the fuck is going on?
That's wild.
Yeah.
That's wild.
I couldn't, dude.
That's wild. That's a totally different level of a dream, by the way.
No, but
or a
you know,
nightmare.
Like, you know when you get woken up and you're like startled, like
Yeah.
you don't know what's going on. For all I
Right.
knew, like the house is collapsing.
Right.
I couldn't get back to sleep.
Yeah.
I couldn't
would've
get back
been
to sleep, and
scared.
I was like, not because I'm like scared of my brother. It's just like, dude, am I gonna get fucking pelted again with pillows? Like, what's
Right.
going on? Crazy shit.
That's funny.
That is so funny.
What do you think dreams are?
I don't know. I feel like just recently I've been connecting more to my dreams and trying to figure out what they mean. I think sometimes what we're dreaming of isn't exactly what's happening, but I think the feelings that you feel in the dream are related to what you're feeling in your day-to-day life.
Yeah,
I agree.
Yeah, have you ever? If you a cool thing to do is like before you go to bed, if you want to repeat like some sort of, I don't want to call it mantra or just
like
a sentence
affirmation
or an affirmation. If you just keep repeating the same one over and over again as you fall asleep, it's likely you're going to dream about it.
That's cool.
Yeah.
But I feel like that's how you can like also manifest your dreams or reach your goals too, right?
No, when you get
you're dreaming
theta,
about it too.
Yes. So what they say, and I don't know how true any of this is.
And who's they?
What?
And who's they?
Well, like what they say, the experts. Yeah. But like if you are dreaming about something, they say that like if you start affirming something and then you start dreaming about it, but you never dreamed about it before, that's like a sign that your subconscious is starting to buy in on it.
Oh wow!
But I don't
know that.
But then I don't want people hearing this that know that being like, oh well, I dreamt about the opposite. Like,
right?
Don't give it any meaning.
I think also like you have to be in tune. Like I don't think it's just like anybody who has a dream that's like what it is. I think like if you're
I agree with
like
that.
conscious and aware, then your dreams will mean something.
100%. I purposely had a dream 2 nights ago, and it was because I was affirming something consciously as I fell asleep, and I was like, "This is fucking sick." I woke up, I was like, "Oh, nice."
Yeah.
What are you looking at me for?
I'm trying to figure out what you were affirming.
Oh, don't worry about it.
Exactly. I'm not going to embarrass you publicly. That's private information,
folks.
It just that's what I'm trying to figure out. Interrogating you through my eyes.
Don't worry about it.
Don't worry about the spirits will come and tell me. They're going to come scare me in my bed. I'm going to freak out.
Oh, shit.
Joe, I know what it was, but it freaked me out.
Yeah, dude, if you get
Came out at 3 o'clock in the morning.
I swear my fucking...
All right, let's not make it scary for people, though.
What do you mean?
Talking about all this scary stuff.
I'm saying how people... when I feel like spirits visit me in the middle of the night, and that's when they're going to tell me Joe's affirmation.
No, if you do, here's the thing. If that ever does happen, because it might, tell me what it is, and I'll tell you if it was.
Okay.
But how's he going to know?
What's up?
How's he going to know?
I'm going to manifest it. I'm going to manifest he's going to tell me exactly what I was dreaming about.
Okay.
Okay, we'll find out.
All right.
We'll find out. Hey, here's the thing is, now that I'm thinking about it, it's not going to happen. A month, 2 months from now, it's going to pop in my head.
Yeah.
And I'm like, what the fuck was that about?
Yeah.
And then
It doesn't have to take a couple months, it could take a couple days, but if it takes a couple months, it takes a couple months.
I'm saying, I gotta
tell me. I want you to tell me.
And then you guys got to tell me after.
Oh, of course.
100%.
Okay.
Hey, you never know. You may get the signal, not me.
That's true.
I may get it and not pay attention.
Then I'll let you know if I find out.
Yeah, sure.
See, that's the thing too. Is I feel like, I'm sure you experienced this recently. It's like you may be getting the signal or the information, but you're not being receptive of it.
Yeah, that's important.
Or you're not in a place. I think we were talking about this before we started, of being in tune with yourself and like how to get yourself in a good mental place so that you're more
so that you can receive. Absorb.
Sensitive to the information, so you can pick up on it easier.
Yeah, I agree.
Yeah, the one thing that because I've been conscious to this for a couple of years now, right? The one thing that I've realized, and it actually makes it's an important thing to realize, is how when you're spiritually asleep and things happen, you tend to call them coincidences.
Yeah.
But then you start to realize they're just not coincidences. It was just your thought pattern. So that happened. You thought about that, and you were fearful of that, or you were hopeful of that, and then it happened. Right,
yeah.
But now you're awake to it. You're like, oh, yeah, no, I created that.
Right.
Like, whether it's good or bad.
But it's hard for people to accept that, because when they're like, I created that, they'll be like, why did I create this, like... I don't know, like this bad situation. So they get frustrated.
They get frustrated, but it's like if you can create the bad situation, you can create the opposite good situation. And the one thing I always like, because it's a good question, it's like I don't think this person wanted that event to happen, tragic event to happen.
Right.
But it could be as simple as someone who's always complaining and complains in their head and thinks that woe is me. Well, what's going to be reflected back to them? Then that thing happens, right? It's like it's crazy.
I think it's I
feel like the term though, the expression of you created it has a stigma to it, which unfortunately, like in these situations, right? Created, whatever word you want to use, but people hear that and they're just completely dismissive of it, right? I didn't. You create things with your thoughts, and like I was just thinking, like I think like you. You're working towards a goal, right? You're thinking about that. Whether you do, like, is it the same thing as manifesting, or is like that's the goal I'm going towards?
It's the same
to
thing.
me. It's the same concept.
It's the same thing. But people try to conflate it, or they're like, oh, you're gonna think about a car and it's gonna come through the roof. It's like, better hope a car doesn't fall out of a plane. But no, because here's why it's not gonna happen. Like if you say, I want a Ferrari. Oh, Ferrari's gonna come through the roof. No, because does your subconscious mind think that at any given point it is likely that a fucking car is going to come through your roof? Yeah. No, that's why it's not going to happen. But maybe your business isn't going too bad, but you're working toward it. Then all of a sudden you change your mindset. No, everyone loves, dude, my business is booming, even if it's fucking not. Well, then people start coming.
Right.
Business deals start coming in. Next thing you know, you're making fucking millions of dollars, and you're like, oh, wait, I'm going to the dealership to get a Ferrari. Like, that's how it happens.
Right.
And sometimes you don't even need to take a step. So one time, this is a manifestation. One time I was like, there's a guy around here. He's well known in this town. He ran for like political office. He didn't get it. But I remember meeting him one time. He was such a good fucking guy. And I was like, damn, bro, like whatever happened? Like I haven't seen that guy in 2 years. That night I went to fucking Roots and he was there. And we didn't even talk to each other. He sat down and he actually was like decided he wanted to leave. He like looked around and he just got up and I was like, motherfucker. I was just thinking about that guy 3 hours ago.
Yeah.
You've told me the story before.
Yeah.
It freaks me out every time.
Yeah, it's crazy though. But it's see, that's when you become in tune with it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, exactly. Was that, did you manifest that?
Yes. That's what I believe.
I think we're interpreting it different ways. I think you were just told a signal, like you were you were getting the signal getting pinged to you, and you picked up on it. Not that you created the situation, but you were like someone was telling you, hey, this
energy.
is good. Yeah,
you felt his energy in your space.
But yes, keep going.
And then you thought about him.
Yes.
And then you ran into him.
Well, so I thought about him, and for me to go to the specific spot, I think we're all speaking the same language.
Yeah, just in different ways. Yeah.
Just in different ways.
Yeah.
So God, it's not your job to find out. So you set a manifestation. That's what you want. It's not your job to try to control the outcome to get that. Correct. God will find a way. Why did I choose to go? I didn't even want to go out that night. It was a slew of weeks I wasn't even going out. I was just staying in.
Right.
I decided to go out with my friend that time, and that's when I saw him.
Yeah.
Come on.
Yeah.
How about Cooper?
Yeah.
What's up, Coop? Finally got Scott Cooper.
My elbows hurt.
Yeah. Your arm good, bro? So inside joke. What? Seriously, it's just something as stupid as this. It's not always like about magical, big things. How long have I been talking about trying to get Scott Cooper? For
the longest time.
For a year, right?
Yeah.
And I was working toward it, and every time I go with him, I got close. Well, when I woke up, I never go to 6:30 a.m. classes. Never. I'm sleeping in. I get up at 6:30. I'm not fucking going to jiu-jitsu at 6:30. Well, on Wednesday morning, I woke up at 4:40. Why? Couldn't tell you. And I just had a sudden urge. I was like, you know what? Let me go to a morning class. Like, fuck it. I'm already up. Let me get this out of the way so I can work later because it's month end. And that's when I got Scott.
Yeah.
See, that was, but like.
No, I believe it because that type of stuff happens to me too. So I get it.
So
it's just hard to put in words.
I've said this a bunch of times. I don't necessarily believe in luck as people usually say. I think luck is where opportunity and preparation meets. Mm-hmm. And in that situation, right, the preparation is all the work you put in up to that point, but it's also you were getting told consciously, subconsciously, whatever the words you want to use, but you were getting a signal saying this is the time. And you capitalized on the situation that was provided to you.
100%.
Yeah.
100%. But
quite literally.
But like if I wasn't
in tune with yourself,
and I wasn't conscious to it,
right.
Or if I thought, I'm never going to get Scott. I'm never going to get Scott.
Or forcing it. I'm going to get him today.
Yeah, right. Like not being attached to the outcome.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
But the outcome
and not knowing how it's going to happen, just knowing, like, I think just focusing on where you want to go or what it is that you want and not knowing the how or the what and not being attached to what you think it should be. Well, then you'll get there.
Here's why the attachment's important. I don't necessarily believe that if you keep repeating something, an affirmation over and over again, I don't necessarily think being attached to that will prevent it. What prevents it, and this is where I think you guys are going, correct me if I'm wrong. If you're too attached to it, no matter how many the mental visualizations you do, if you don't see it yet, you start to question, where is it? Am I doing it wrong? And then you're just solidifying your dominant thought, which is it's not here yet. So if you're too obsessed with that, you keep delaying it. Right. Whereas if you let go of the attachment of having it, it just comes. It's weird.
Right.
It's weird.
Yeah.
That's how I think. I don't know if you guys share that thought.
I completely agree. I mean, I think if you get too try to be in control and force things, you may even get close. You may even get what you think you wanted, but it's never going to be exactly what. Like you need to be able to
Surrender.
Yeah, surrender. That's the word.
You're surrendering to God.
Yeah,
Right.
surrender to
the outcome.
Yeah,
Because like you may say like I don't know like you said like you may want a Ferrari, but like you think you're just gonna get the Ferrari. Versus like life has different plans of how you're going to get that Ferrari.
But
maybe you're going to get a car
the Ferrari.
better than the Ferrari. Like,
and that's another thing
you know?
too. And that's one thing that I've noticed or not noticed where I'm starting to go, the better is we choose what's better. So everyone chooses what's better. So if someone may have it may be two people manifesting similar types of, not the same thing, but similar types of scenarios. One person gets what they want. The other person realized there was something better and went for something better. But in my opinion, and I don't know if you guys share this opinion, the better is you like, because I had someone ask me about that. Like I told them about what I was doing, and then they're like, well, what if someone better comes along? And I was like, in my life, I choose who's better.
yeah.
I choose what's better. In
I
your
never
life,
thought
you
of it like
choose
that, yeah.
what's better. You choose who's better because
Right.
we're experiencing different realities.
Right, yeah.
We're very real to each other, but different life, different upbringings, different thoughts, different feelings.
Yeah.
Yeah.
it just in the same podcast, we all have our own perspective of
Yeah.
what we're
Yeah.
experiencing in it.
But yes, perfect. But we
Yeah.
I think we are all sort
Like
of
we're
in
on the
tune with
same
each other.
page, but we have different perspectives of
Yeah.
the same topic.
Yes, almost like how we started out with like we were talking on the couch, where
Yeah.
like religion, they're all saying the same thing. It's just a different.
There's a lot of overlap.
Yeah, a lot
of
yeah.
overlap.
Yeah, that's fucking great. Hey,
And you were nervous.
you were nervous.
I know.
You just perfect, folks. Was she nervous? Like I didn't even hear it once. You're
Yeah.
good.
Thanks, guys.
Yeah, chilling. Must have
Yeah.
been that shot.
Yeah.
By the way, Timmy and I decided.
real spaghetti vendors. Over
Yeah.
here. Sorry, I love that.
Don't apologize to me, bro. I don't take offense at any of
It's just
that
a
shit.
stupid joke.
I was gonna make a nice joke, but we did it off air. We gave a shot of Cabo Wabo tequila to Yara here in a nice shot glass, and then I was gonna, because she was nervous about coming on, and I was gonna be like, hey, why don't we look stupid by taking him an espresso, and then we ended up taking it off air. So
And I'm part of the groom's drinking team.
yes, you are. Fuck,
I
That's
just
funny.
realized that.
dude, this was from my brother's bachelor party.
Good times. Allegedly.
Allegedly, things
Anyway,
didn't happen. No, it was a fun time.
of course.
Yeah.
Do you have any other median stories you want to share with us? You don't have to. Any ones that pop up?
The one that I think of is like one with my family member. I'm not going to say who because I want to respect them. But they believed that I was a medium, but they came from an upbringing that they didn't fully understand it. So they didn't believe it either. Like they know I'm not a liar, but they also have like strong beliefs that they've had for all the years of their life. And I remember I was at work and I felt the spirit. And I was like, I feel the spirit. I texted the person. I was like, I feel them. I feel your father. And she's like, no way. Like, what does he want? And so I remember I had to go to like a private room because like I wanted to be connected. And I texted her and I said, he wants to say, I love you. He never said those words to you. And he didn't give you affection growing up as a kid, and he wished he did. But you do a really good job of doing that with your kids. And he's really proud of you. And to continue speaking up and like being who you are. And then I just get a text back, I'm crying.
Oh, God damn.
And I'm like, why? And she said, just yesterday, I was kayaking with my partner. And I was thinking in my head, I was talking to my dad. And I was saying how mad I am at him for not giving me affection as a kid. And then literally the next day, you texted me. And she said, he actually heard me.
Yeah, that's fucking wild, bro.
And that's when she
you can't
started to
make that
believe
up.
it.
No,
What-
there's no
what-
way
if you
that-
don't believe in this stuff, what do you chalk that up to?
What is? Yeah, no.
Coincidence?
Right.
there's
like
no
that person never
coincidence.
spoke to me. Like
There's
I had
no
no idea.
coincidence.
Like she said, I even forgot I had that conversation with my dad. Had you not said that, I would have forgot that was something that I was
Yeah.
thinking about.
That was no, dude. That's wild, and that's what. Like, all right. I don't care if someone's listening here that doesn't believe it. Fine, whatever. But like that's like you're not choosing to
Right.
fucking. All right. Do you mind if I say when I asked you why you were
Yeah.
a little apprehensive to
Sure.
come on?
Yeah.
So to go back to what you were saying about when it was the medium and people were saying it was satanic and all that shit. You didn't decide the first time it happened with your friend from yoga,
right,
that her aunt was going to come in and make your head feel hot and give you a message. You didn't decide that.
Right.
So what, it happens to you and so now you're satanic? Like, no, I don't believe that. I'm sorry.
Yeah.
Can you use it for bad? Sure. But you've made it perfectly clear with your intention that you're using it for good and life and love. That's
right.
perfect. It's a gift. You're in tune with it, right?
Right.
Use it. And if you're using it for good, what the fuck? Like, that's awesome.
Right. I think it's so cool. Like, another story that I think of, I had a client, she couldn't talk. And every time I'd walk into her room, I would get this rush of heat and nausea. And then it would go away. And I would leave the room. And then when I go back in the room, I would feel that again. I'm like, this is so weird. Why am I only feeling it when I'm in this room? I was like, does she have a fever? So I go and get a thermometer. She had like 106.4 fever.
Holy crap.
Yeah.
That's like borderline
I didn't even touch
death,
her.
right?
It was just like a feeling, huh?
That's borderline. You can die at 106. Right?
I mean, it's part of the natural end of life process, having fevers. But like it could make her uncomfortable, obviously, right? Like any of us with a fever, but
oh, wait, duh. Oh my God.
Yeah.
That was such a stupid question.
No, you wouldn't know that. Not a lot of people know that.
Yeah, but I mean, like in the line of work you're in, I should have assumed that. Yeah.
Yeah, but but most people don't know. Yeah. Like you have to be educated on that. So cool stuff like that will happen where like they're like.
Do you think she was nauseous too?
Yeah, I think so, because like it only happened when I would step in the room, and I feel like because she couldn't communicate with words anymore, I feel like her spirit, like, I don't know, these are just my beliefs. I think when people are getting ready to depart and go to heaven or wherever people believe in, like their spirit's half in their body, half like getting ready to go, and I feel like that half that's getting ready to go was like communicating with me, like, I'm uncomfortable, can you help me?
Mm-hmm. Yeah. So on that exact thing, it sparked my memory from when my grandfather was passing. He would play his football plays. He would call him out. Like he's out of there. His body's there, but he's mentally wherever. But he was calling out his football plays.
No
So
way.
wherever he was he was back when he was young playing football.
No
yeah.
shit.
And it was actually really funny. Is he woke up and it was just Sam and I in front, and he saw Sam and I forget what he said to her, but. Have I told you a story about how I thought he called me a dickhead once?
No, it's just
okay. So sorry, a little side tangent on this, but he was helping me get the new wash and dryer delivered, and they didn't give the hoses, and I was like, oh, I'll go to Home Depot later, and I'll go hook up the old ones now and he's like, quit being a dickhead, and I'm like, what? He's like, I'm gonna go get the hoses now. I'm like, whatever. I call my mom. I go, I think Grandpa just called me a dickhead. He's like, my father does not curse. He definitely did not call you a dickhead. So she calls me back. He didn't call you. No, he comes in. She didn't call me back. He comes in. I didn't call you dickhead. I said you're being thick-headed. But the way his accent was, how he said thick, it sounded like a dickhead. So for the rest of his life, he called me a dickhead. And he woke up. I forget what he said something to Sam, but then he gave me this hand gesture like dickhead, because that's how he would do it to me. And that's that's my last experience with him.
Damn.
Yeah.
That's
it was just funny. But then he was going back and forth into his football plays.
Nice.
Yeah.
So that was like his last like goodbye.
Yeah, that was like his acknowledgement.
Conscious, yeah. Have you ever had someone, like, have you ever felt someone with like medium type right as they, like a client that has passed, and then like in that moment you felt them and like they had a message or something?
Like after they pass?
Yeah. Are you there when they pass?
Sometimes.
Okay. Like
one time there was this lady, again, it's so sad. There's so many young people. She was also in her like 50s. And I don't know, I had a feeling she was getting ready to take her final breath. So, me and the other nurse, like, we just sat with her so that she wasn't alone. And I remember, like, I just had my hand on her and I'm just like praying for her. And then I literally like felt, it was the first time that's ever happened to me. Like, I felt her spirit go up. And like, as her spirit went up is when she was taking her final breath. Damn. Like, I felt it, like, and like right before, as she's going up, she just said, like, all I heard was like, thank you.
Wow.
Wow.
Yo, shit. If I didn't have long sleeves on, you'd see all the freaking goosebumps.
Yeah.
Where do you think we go when we die?
That's a really good question. I don't know. I think this is what I tell my patients. I think we go to paradise. Mm-hmm. Like, I think we go to a place where we reunite with people who may have already passed, where like everything's peaceful, love, joy, like happiness. Like I associate like our good moments in life, like when we're feeling such excitement or joy, as the same as like wherever we're going, but times a million, times a trillion.
Yeah, I like that. Do you think we have chances to come back into human flesh?
Reincarnation?
Yes.
I do, even though that may not go with like religious aspects. I do feel like we come back. I feel like there's so much to learn here on earth that we're not going to learn all the lessons in one lifetime. I feel like we have to come back to learn about like whatever it is. Like there's so many lessons we can learn about love, about relationships, about career, about identity, about like there's so many different topics to learn from, and we're never going to fully understand everything in one lifetime.
Nice. Very good. Good answers.
Yeah, I kind of subscribe to that same belief. So it's almost like you'll live your life on Earth as many times as you need until you learn all the lessons you need to move on.
Yeah.
I can subscribe to that.
I know someone whose son told her when he was younger, like young, like no business saying what he said, but just was like, yeah, Ma, I chose you. And then just went back to like I chose to come with you. And then basically saying like his soul and her like chose to be her son.
I believe that.
And she was like, it was so random. He was doing one thing, said that, and like he was so young. And I was like, wow.
No, I believe that. I think we do choose our parents. Mm-hmm. I think we choose the situations that we're in to help us like reach the lessons that we came here to learn. But again, it's a choice. So if you don't choose to learn these lessons, you're going to come back and have to redo it again.
Damn. I've never heard of a thought of that. That's wild.
I could see that.
Yeah, I think
like you resist.
Yeah, like I feel like if you resist it, like I don't know, if you came here to learn more about relationships and then like you keep resisting it and you're avoiding it and you're avoiding it and you're avoiding it, you're coming back here to learn about it again.
Yeah, probably.
Or whatever topic it is.
Yeah, probably. I think choice is everything. I think you choose, like you're saying, we're creating, right? We're creating it whether you're asleep or awake.
Right.
And I feel like you're having fun, and then sometimes you'll, like, you know, I don't know, you choose what you want to do at a specific point, and maybe the same thing. If you didn't learn it, all right, you're like, all right, I missed it that time, now I got to come back, or whatever. Maybe you're like, oh, maybe now I want to learn a little different thing.
Right.
So I learned from this one and come back. I don't know. It's interesting.
And I think too, like, because we choose our parents or the people that we're going to be in this lifetime, like if you have, for example, like conflict between like two siblings or two friends, like I think that like that was a conflict from another life that you just brought back into this life.
I have a friend who has a son who, I can't remember why he said this, but it's random why he would say it, but I think he was talking to someone and they said, like, he came back because you two in another life were like the roles were reversed. So you were the son, he was the father, and now you're going to work. I don't know. Yeah, I thought it was interesting.
Yeah,
That's
I believe
wild.
in that.
That's wild.
The one thing is, the one thing that like you get taught, and like I said, I don't think everything is predetermined, that you can't, like, I don't think you're stuck. I don't think there's like a record. Like, you're not going to be able to attain this because you said you were going to do this. I think, like you said, you have the choice of what you want to do.
Right.
And then you live your life.
Yeah.
Yeah. Interesting. Awesome. So do you have I think we can, that was great. That was great.
You.
Yeah, no, for sure. We'll end it there. We always give our guests one last thing to say.
Whatever you want to close out with. Any wisdom, any messages you want people to walk away with?
There was a lot of great gold in this one.
The message I want to send to everybody is to lead with love in every interaction and everything that you do, because you have no idea how that it could change someone's life when you lead with love.
That's beautiful.
That is.
I stole your line. That is, though.
It is. Lead with love. I love that. That's powerful. I think that's what we need to do, especially in our society. What you got anything?
No, I'm just gonna lean on that. Just let go, have faith, put out what you want to direction you want to go into, and lead with love.
Yes.
Love that.
What do you have to say?
Nah, you're in control. I'll echo because I think it's a beautiful statement. Is lead with love. You're in control, whether you know it or not, whether you like it or not. So every bad scenario that's happening in your life, you have the ability to change it by doing the opposite, but you need to do the work up here.
Yes.
And do it with love, do it happy, and make it fun.
Yeah, I think that's the most important thing.
Enjoy.
Make it
Enjoy
fun,
life.
yes.
Make it fun. And also I want to say thank you to Mom. You made this cool ass the logo of our podcast for the tablecloth. Thank you.
That's so cute.
Yeah, she's a great artist. Thank you, Mom. And thank you guys for listening, watching. Episode 170 with Yara. That was honestly amazing show.
Thank you.
My pleasure.
Thank you for having me.
Thank you for having
for
coming on, for not having us. This is our show.
Yeah.
Thank you for sharing your experiences. Thank you for being vulnerable to tell stuff that you were a little maybe scared to tell. I don't think there's anything you need to be scared about.
Thank you.
My pleasure. Folks, episode 170. We out. See you next week.